In this video, I would like to talk about some of the coolest vehicles known to humankind and to dolphins. Okay, jokes aside, this video is about tanks. To be more exact, fictional tanks from video games and movies. So, why don't we get right into it and talk about some of my favorite tanks. This is my top 5 favorite tanks from video games and movies. So, let's get started. Okay, so number 1, the Trade Federation AAT Battle Tank. So, this thing is essentially a hover tank that is basically a main battle tank for the Trade Federation in Star Wars. It's manned by battle droids and is equipped with a large cannon and 2 side cannons which fire various types of lasers basically. It is very cool looking and it kind of looks like it wouldn't be able to stand up on its own. But it can, and you know, I have a Micro Machines version of this tank, and I love it. Also, this tank makes for an excellent Lego set. I just have to say, I don't have the Lego set. I tried to make my own at one point. Didn't turn out so well, but yeah, it's a very nice tank, and if I had the Lego set, you know I'd build that thing. Okay, so it also comes in a blue and white pattern, but is normally seen in a military tan. And it was used on Naboo, the Battle of Naboo, and the Battle of Geonosis, among other battlefields across the galaxy. Alright, so, as nice as this tank is, it's time to move on to the second tank in our video. So, the second tank is the Terran Siege tank from StarCraft 2 specifically. So the Terran Siege tank is it's a tank that can convert into a stationary turret, basically. So what it does is it folds out its legs of a sort. Its tracks fold out in the legs. It basically stands in the ground and points its cannon wherever it needs to shoot. And it's a large, powerful cannon. Once the thing is deployed, nothing moves it. It needs something big and powerful to take this tank out, especially once it's grounded and ready for battle. So it's a very powerful vehicle. One of my favorite tank designs from the StarCraft universe. So, very nice design. Very unique ability to convert the way it does into siege mode. Hence the name Siege Tank. Unique vehicle overall. Very nice tank. So, let's move on to the third spot. So, in the third spot is the Scorpion main battle tank from Halo. Now, I will be completely honest with you, I have not played a Halo game in a very long time. I'm talking not since, well, the original games, or I should say the first game on the original Xbox. That's how long it's been. I have wanted to play them again, but don't currently own an Xbox, so I have not had the chance to go back and play these games. However, this tank, the Scorpion tank from these games, has always intrigued me. It's a very nice tank, and it looks like a Scorpion, and it's cool. So, I mean, I do like the design. It might not be the most practical design as far as tanks are concerned, but I'm going to be honest, most of the tanks on this list are not very practical. They're just cool looking, and I mean, they're fun to drive, fun to look at, fun to use in video games, since most of these have appeared in video games. It's a very nice tank design. I like it. I like this tank. Very cool. Very nice and sci-fi. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so as nice as the Scorpion main battle tank is, I believe it's time to move on to our fourth spot. And in our fourth spot is the TX-130 main battle tank of the Galactic Republic. So this tank was originally used by the clone troopers, and specifically the clone tank troopers and the Clone Wars. It was deployed on various planets, most notably on Geonosis and Megiddo and other large battlefields across Star Wars. Now, it was originally playable in Battlefront 1 and 2, I believe. So the original Battlefronts, this tank was a playable vehicle, and it has recently been reintroduced into the new Battlefront 2. Now, the model in the new Battlefront 2 looks a little different. I don't think it's entirely accurate model to what we had in older versions of Star Wars and the old Battlefront games. I don't know how much I like the new model, but it is a nice looking tank, and much like the Battle Droid tank, this one also makes for a very excellent Lego set. Which again, I tried to build my own since I don't own a Lego set for this set. That also didn't turn out so well. Oh, what can you say? But it is nice. It's another hover tank, as are most tanks in Star Wars. It is equipped with 2 cannons on the side and 1 laser turret, which fires a beam, a long laser beam that can melt through objects. It's a nice hover tank, basically, and it's really, in all honesty, one of my favorite vehicles from the entire Star Wars universe. So, let's move on to number 5 spot. And in number 5 spot, this is here because I'm a little bit biased, because I love the Cobra Hist tank. This thing is the least practical of all these tanks, but it is beautiful. Now, over the years, it has had multiple different versions of this tank. It started as a smaller, almost APC looking thing, and now the most recent modern version of it is much bigger, and in my opinion, much cooler. And I love this thing. I love this tank. I even own a modern Cobra Hist tank and the original Cobra Hist tank because I love this tank. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I love it. It's got Gatling guns on the sides. It's got a huge cannon. It kind of looks like a helicopter, except on tracks and with bigger guns. Now, the original, of course, looked more like an armored personnel carrier. It was smaller. It didn't have like the helicopter aesthetic, but it was still a really cool looking vehicle with a dual cannon on it, compared to the new one, which only has a single cannon but a very bigger cannon. So these are my top 5 battle tanks, or main battle tanks, or tanks in general from video games and movies. Now, I would like to make some honorable mentions for tanks, so we are gonna go and we are gonna mention wow, hold on a sec, I honestly forgot which one I was gonna mention. Oh yes, the TIE tank from the Star Wars Expanded Universe. This thing is weird, it's odd, but it's cool. It's a TIE fighter with tank treads. It can't fly, but it can drive right over you. It's even less practical than all these other tanks. It is probably it's just a stupid design, but I love it. It's cool. Stupid, but cool, and it's a very good example of when science goes too far. But sometimes It just doesn't go far enough. And this is once again a very good example of that. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have suggestions for future videos, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will see you later. And let's roll out and never stare down the barrel of a tank. It doesn't end well. I know that from experience. I've played enough war games to understand that. Alright, see you around.